Hello YouTube land and welcome to Force In Unison Live! Episode 21! We can finally drink some beers, baby! Tonight, we're gonna talk about the man, Kaz Hirai! We're gonna talk about how Crash has betrayed the Sony faithful. But also, and the best part of it all, right, Caliones? We're gonna have a little bit of fun! And joining me, like always, the man, the legend. Take us away, man. Caliones. Yeah. How you doing, Caliones, in this beautiful, beautiful night?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And I don't know, like that comment about the Sony faithful being heartbroken because of Crash. Everybody knew Crash wasn't I mean, it wasn't an exclusive game or anything. It was going to be another console. They never specified anything. So I don't know, like, but the question is it going to be $40 on the other consoles? That's going to be the question, though.
It should be $40. It shouldn't be. It should, unless he gets the Switch tax break or tax price. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyway, with that said, let's do that sweet ass rigmarole really quickly so we can get into the show really fast because we're hyped, we're ready, and we're ready to rock and roll. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody to the Force In Unison Live. Almost said get in and get out Nintendo podcast. To the Force In Unison Live episode. I knew I was so tired today. Episode 21st. Right here on the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast. Every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get that podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, we do have a Facebook page, right, Caliones? We visit it sometimes. Once in a while we visit it. It is called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, finally, go to shigetosnews.com and switchcard.com and get some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. With all that said, Caliones, are you ready? Because my body's ready, even though this is not the Get In and Get Out podcast. My body's ready. Caliones, what is the first piece of news tonight?
Well, I mean, since there's going to be, I guess, a little bit, PlayStation centric, you're probably going to be taking over some of the news on here, but especially this one, because he's one of your idols, and
Rich
basically,
Racer. Oh, sorry,
Sony CEO Kaz Hirai will be stepping down as CEO. But I mean, he may still be giving some advice and doing anything, like some things behind the scenes. But as far as being the man at Sony, he will be no more. So, what do you think about that, Dantes? How are your feelings, and what's going to happen with Sony?
I am heartbroken. Let me give a quick shout out quickly. Historian, thank you for joining us. Hypebeast, thank you for joining us. Ribbon Girl, thank you for joining us. Dantes the Gamer, Margie, thank you. Brian, welcome to the chat today. Anyway, let me see how I'm heartbroken, Carlos. I'm so heartbroken because I just lost Kaz, not only on Twitter, but I lost him as the best CEO of all time. No CEO. Yeah, go ahead.
And not the only one that Sony has lost in the past, couple of months.
No, Sony's losing left and right. High level people right now. Executives. They're losing executives left and right. Okay, joking aside. You don't have to give credits to credits due to Kaz. He took a Sony that was basically bankrupt and basically streamlined Sony. And they're back in black. They're profitable again. They're making a lot of good money. Admittedly, the only concern that I have with Sony is it's like anything. They're dependent so much on the PlayStation division. So if someday the PlayStation division, loses money, I don't know, they have made bad decisions. With new management, you never know if bad decisions may come right around the corner. So if they do that, can Sony survive? I guess that's the biggest question I would have. I know they have the TV. I know they have the movie business, but and of course they also, if you guys didn't know that, they sell insurance too. It's just insurance division is also making good money. But still, it is still a concern, right, Caliones? You want to be diversified as much as you can. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, I didn't say Hyper Beast. Finally, Hype Beast. See, I said it right. I'm there for you, bro. Anyway, so what I was saying is that yes, that's a concern, but credits due. Kaz took Sony, put him back in the good graces of the business world, and he'll be lost. And I think the best part, and I'm gonna say it again, Rich Racer, baby, that's the best moment of all time. Anyway, Cardenas, anything to add to the man, Kaz Hirai, leaving?
Well, I guess one of the things is you kind of wonder what Sony's thinking is in the background if they're leaving because it's time. Because I mean, I guess one of the things he said is because they're traveling all the time. They get to not spend too much time with the families, and I mean, being a CEO, it's kind of like a 24/7, especially when you have one of the highest Twitter accounts in the world.
It's true. He's always on Twitter, that's for sure.
Well, I just want to say, like, the Twitter account said last year that the Twitter account was going to be retiring in 2018, and then he comes out and says that he's retiring in 2018 So
it just makes sense.
You put one.
It's a line. Stars are a line.
It was always him. It was always him.
I agree with you. That was the best Twitter account of all time. Follow him. With all this, he said the other day on Twitter, he said with all the network issues, is that just that they were getting ready for Knack coming out on PlayStation Plus, baby. Watch out, Mario. Knack's coming for you. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you. I think what's happening in Sony is you're seeing new blood coming up. Hopefully, new blood can take over and continue the success that Sony has been having the last couple of years. But then you also have in your back on your mind, what does this means? They're gonna make changes and decisions that could even impact PlayStation. Like, are they just gonna become make mistakes like Xbox did at the start of this generation, thinking that the market is going one way, but in reality they don't want to? So that's just my concern. If Andrew House was still there, I wouldn't feel so bad, but Andrew House just left too. So I don't know. We have to wait and see how Sony will treat PlayStation moving forward with new management. So
yeah, but I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I get the feeling that the reason why they're stepping down is not necessarily because they want to be with their families, which I mean, I can understand that perfectly, but more so because they may not agree with what Sony is doing. Because I think Sony is going to go more into the microtransactions, the loot boxes, those kind of things, and I feel like they're not the kind of people that would be there supporting it, and they're probably just, I mean, getting out before Sony crashes and burns. But I don't know. Like, I mean, because it feels like every company is going that route. I know that as far as, well, I don't know.
No, but Kaz is the CEO, so he was the man in charge, so he could easily say no to that. I think that they're stepping down. I believe, and maybe it's the Japanese culture, right? So this is what I mean. So I read that piece on Monolith Soft, and Takahashi tries his best and darnest to keep the new blood flowing in. So he moves people into director shares of his games and stuff like that to try to create new blood, make new leaders in the company. And maybe that's the Japanese way of, you do your time, you do it for a while, but then you have to step down and honor and pave way to the new generation or a new person, X, Y, and Z. That's what it seems like. We're over here in the state, as you know, people are just here until they fire you. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't say until the new guy, I don't remember his name, the new Andrew House, what his plans for PlayStation is. He has more direct impact on PlayStation than the new CEO, Yoshida. Not Yoshida, the PlayStation first-party leader. Is a different Yoshida, but, So we'll see what happens. Even though Kaz, as a CEO, knew the importance of PlayStation because he was the PlayStation boss for a long time. This new CEO doesn't have any ties to PlayStation. So it's going to be interesting how those decisions are going to be made. And again, the new Andrew House, which I forget his name, how he will treat PlayStation moving forward. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes, Caliones. It's a sad day for the PlayStation faithful, and more sad because it's just been 1-2 punch. I mean, Kaz leaving, Crash coming to the Switch. I mean, it's been awful, heartbreaking today on the PlayStation Nation. But anyway, go to the next piece of news, Caliones. At least some positive news going forward now.
Well, and I guess we can say positive news because they're still counting ships and not sold.
No. Read below, a Nintendo fan. They said 77 million shipped and 73 million sold through You can read it down. Read it down, boy. Read it down. Before you say comments, read the articles that I send you. Okay? Okay, good. Continue, please.
Okay, so I mean, if you read the big bold letters at the top, it says 76.5 million PS4 shipped by December 31st, the largest boost announced for PlayStation revenue and income as well. So basically, it's been year 4 going into year 5, and they're making as much money as ever. So it's the PlayStation 4 is on par with the PlayStation 3 on sales. Uh, Even though it's not going to hit PS2 numbers, but I mean PS2 is the best-selling console of all time, so it's not going to get there.
No, I don't think no console is going to get there with this environment, but they will get to that magic 100 million mark. I do believe that they'll get to that. They're selling really well, still selling well. So,
yeah, I mean, unless they do something drastic and announce PS5 at E3 and release it this year, they're going to continue with the PS4.
PS5 2020, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, the console is going great. I mean, you can't really deny that. It had a big boost because, the PlayStation 4 had great games in 2017. I know that the games got obscured by Nintendo Switch's lineup, but they had really good games this year that continue to push it, and they have a pretty strong lineup this year, especially in the first half of game releases. So that's another thing that will be pushing it as well. The most recent one being Shadow of the Colossus, which is arguably maybe the best remake of all time. So PlayStation 4 keeps getting the games, keep getting the support, and keeps selling well. So give us your take on this.
No, they're selling great. I mean, like I said, they shipped 76 or so. I know they sold through, supposedly they announced 73. So it's still, chip is really close to sell. So that means that there's still demand for PlayStation to keep sending consoles through. And then the big win is they're making money on software, a lot of software. They're selling a lot of software. When you're in the number one console in the market, you get all the third-party support. And, and just another news, you're going to see that, Monster Hunter, how much it's sold on PlayStation. So, again, it's always the console makers are not there to sell you the console. The console makers are there to sell you the games. That's what makes them money. So, Sony has to feel really good about the amount of software that they have sold through PlayStation. And, of course, they get the freebies, which is, again, PS Plus. They announced that they had over 31 million subscribers, paying subscribers for PS Plus. So, again, another area that makes money. It's money. That's why Nintendo wants to charge for online. So, it is what it is. But I'm happy for PlayStation. I want to keep all 3 console makers around. Well, maybe 2. I would say 2. 2 and PC around. For gaming, and this is good. We need PlayStation, we need Nintendo, we need PC, and maybe we need Xbox. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I have to decide about that. Because a healthy market means a lot of competition, which means, Caliones, they're gonna be then challenging each other, and each console will try to do better and better and better because they're trying to challenge themselves, right? And that's the beauty about the competition. But anyway, I'm good with that.
Okay, so moving on to the next one, and this is, it's a monster of a game, especially in Japan, and we're talking about Monster Hunter World. It's actually debuted with 1.2 million games sold, and that actually gave it the PS4 a push of 110,000 systems sold for the week because of their release. So
finally, they beat Switch.
Yeah, I mean, and it took Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World, yes.
It is a Sony exclusive in Japan, and even if it had released on the Xbox, it still would not have made a difference on the PS4 sales. But I mean, the game it's selling great. It is, I guess, the best selling main Monster Hunter in Japan. The Monster Hunter 4 actually debuted on the 3DS with 1.7 million sold, but the 3DS did have a bigger install base than the PS4 at the time when the game released. So overall, game's doing great. Capcom must be really happy. And
finally, they're making money. They're probably finally getting out of the hole that they've been in there for a while now, right?
Yeah, and all it took is another mainline Monster Hunter game instead of doing the remixes that they keep doing over and over. But I mean, another great story for Monster Hunter. Hopefully, is going to continue. I mean, it's selling well worldwide as well. We haven't received the final numbers on that side, But I mean, from what they said, which was like 5 million shipped on the first 3 days, I mean, it tells you that worldwide it's got to be something just as good. So we'll see how it does and how it continues to do. But game is receiving great critical praise as well. So it tells you that it will be continuing to sell pretty good throughout the year.
Yep. So it's really weird, Calianos, to see a game sell that much in Japan. Nowadays, Japan games really don't sell as huge, right? Unless you're like a freaking Pokemon or something to that extent, right? So I mean, probably Sony's really happy and Capcom is really happy that they sold 1.5 million in just such a week, basically a launch week. And then of course PlayStation should be happy because they were not dumb. They sold you the special Monster Hunter console editions, with the nice graphics and stuff like that. And Japanese players bought it. So I believe that this is the time where Sony could win a couple of weeks until the Monster Hunter hype goes down, and then it's going to go back to normal because there's no denying the fact that the Nintendo Switch will be the #1 console in Japan. And again, I am in the belief that it's kind of different. I am the belief that the Switch is going to be the next gen winning right now console, where PlayStation is going to be in Japan the last gen winning console. Because I still say it, and you know me, guys, I say that they're different generations. The Wii U was the generation where the PlayStation was in, and this Switch is a new generation, which will be interesting once the PlayStation 5 comes out. I think the Switch will have a good lead on the PlayStation 5, so it's going to be really tough, if even impossible, for the PlayStation 5 to even, reach the Switch at that point, I believe, right? But again, I'm happy for Capcom. Capcom had made a lot of stupid decisions. At one point, they were really hammering the DLC and on this DLC and crap like that. And they made a game, and it shows you when you respect the gamer, you'll get respect back. And they made a game with no BS. Everything included in the game. What a concept, Caliones. Everything included in the game. Oh my God. And then later on, you can do your DLC and whatever, but the full game is in the disc. Everything that the players need. And then again, people are finally finding how good, games of this caliber are. How you can team up with players and try to beat, these huge monsters. Because I think that's the big part of Monster Hunter is the teamwork aspect of it, right? So I'm happy. I'm happy for Capcom. I'm happy for PlayStation. Good first week. Anyway, continue, Caliones.
Well, I mean, we're going to be continuing with talking about Monster Hunter World. Basically, the launch attach rate on the PS4 in Japan is the best of all main Monster Hunter games ever. So the game sold 1.2 million copies, or over 1.2 million copies, and 92 of its, basically the 92 of its initial shipment. So it almost had 100% sell through, going with 92%. And that puts it at #1 all time, and that's above Monster Hunter G back in 2005, Monster Hunter, the original one, back in 2004, and any other game. So what more can be said? It's sounding great.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say quickly is to move on, because I said everything I needed to say on Monster Hunter in the previous news article, is they don't sleep on that victory, because I do believe at some point Capcom is not dumb. They're going to release a mainline Monster Hunter on the Switch. The Switch is a portable unit, and it's going to sell like gangbusters, right? And I believe that with the Switch, power may not look as pretty as the Monster Hunter World, but it will look pretty good, way better than Monster Hunter XX, and that could attract a lot of Japanese players around the world. So this is good for Sony for now, but I do believe Capcom is not stupid, and they will release at some point a Monster Hunter that is dedicated to take advantage of the Switch capabilities. But we shall see, Caliones.
Okay, so next one is the PS4 System Software Update 5.50 has been detailed, and it adds custom wallpapers, a PS Plus tab, and more things as well. So, I mean, I guess just doing more updates to the system. You can give us more talk about it, because I don't have a PlayStation 4, so you should be the one giving the details on this one.
No, I mean, it's a new update. So the reason I'm not gonna speak too much to it. The only reason I added it was to give the gamers out there who's watching this podcast just a heads up new updates coming. It's gonna bring some new improved features. It's gonna help to organize the games on your OS better. So that's a couple of good news, and I believe that I do believe, this is my personal opinion, I like the PlayStation OS way better than the Xbox OS. And you can see it where Xbox changes their OS like every month. PlayStation at least just improves on their original OS, and I love PlayStation OS. It's fast, it's snappy, and you get anything that you want to be. So there's just improvements. So good, Sony, keep improving the OS, please, but please don't make it too crazy and just change it completely like Xbox does every month. Anyway, go ahead, Carlos, with the next one.
Okay, and moving on, going over to the Nintendo Switch news. This is something that we did talk about on the Getting and Get Out Nintendo podcast, but just saying it on here as well. Nintendo had their meeting, I think it's last week or so, and they did talk about the overall sales since the system launch. So basically, they shipped 14.86 million Switch units in 2017, and they have increased their prediction to 17.74 million by March of the next fiscal year. So again, selling just as good or better than everybody expected after we saw how it had done the first couple of months. And it's as far as the software, 52.57 million units sold. I believe it's in 10 months it sold half of the software that the Wii U sold in its entire lifetime of 4 years. Same as the lifetime of the hardware, which it has already passed the Wii U. So again, PS4 is doing great. Nintendo Switch is doing great as well.
Yeah, the reason I put this news, even though we talked about it in the Get In and Get Out, is because everybody had their own, investor, how you call it, investor town hall that they have, and they talk about their numbers and how they're doing X, Y, and Z. And I inadvertently thinking that you were talking about Crash, put the Crash gameplay on the background, so I apologize for that. I'll repeat it once we talk about Crash coming to the Switch. But yes, so the interesting part is how fast, Caliones, they have sold or they have overtaken the Wii U. I think that's the biggest surprise. You would have told me that they would have outsold the Wii U by less than a year. I would have told you, Caliones, you're crazy. What the hell you're smoking? And pass that shit around. But it is a reality. This is the world that we're living. The Switch is a bona fide hit. It's doing really well. I think it deserves, and I think Nintendo was smart. The things that they fixed. Boom. How they promote the damn system. Their marketing campaign has been spot on, Caliones. I keep giving the praises because from the first trailer of the Switch, you knew that it was a different marketing campaign. You knew like, oh crap, there's something different about this system. The other piece is Nintendo was smart. They stacked up their best exclusives for the first year. They said, look, we knew that the Wii U did not sell because we didn't have the big games on the Wii U. We struggled on the first year because we were not ready for HD development, which the Wii kind of heard that because they couldn't get into the HD sooner. And then this generation said, nope, we're not gonna do that. We're building Breath of the Wild. We're gonna make sure that it comes to the Switch. We're building Mario Odyssey. It's gonna be on the Wii U. Nope, let's cancel that. No one cares about the Wii U. Let's move it to the Switch. They were able to turn around Splatoon 2 really fast. Splatoon 2 is a bona fide hit right now. I think that's one of the big pillars now for Nintendo. Mario Kart, they did a smart port. They added some improvements. People were like, oh my God. And then they make smart partnerships with Ubisoft. Mario and Rabbids, a bona fide hit too. Great game. I was even surprised how good that game was. But smart partnership. They did smart partnership with Bethesda. You got your Doom, you got your Skyrim, and stuff like that has helped, bring more, at least more, I would say third parties, show that the third parties are there for the Switch to attract more hardcore gamers. And then the big piece, and I'll say two things because I want to say it, is because they were able to release a Xenoblade in 3 years. And that game, to me, is one of the best Switch games, and it is really, really good. I would recommend it. And then the other piece to me, the All-Stars has been the indie developers have showed so much love and support for this system. They have been really successful. And I won't say one last thing before I keep kissing Nintendo's ass, but the last part that I'm gonna say is Nintendo fans, you guys, one thing that I always criticize you from the Wii, from the GameCube, is that you guys did not buy the games. You guys would only buy Nintendo games, and to me, you guys were the reason a lot of times Nintendo had that bad stigma of, oh, people only buy Nintendo consoles to play Nintendo games, right? This is the first time that I have to put and shut up and put my foot on my mouth and say, yes, you guys are buying games that are not Nintendo games, and to continue, please, to continue to do that, because the only thing that will bring is positivity, and it will bring more games to the console. So again, long rant, but just wanted to give props to that. So anyway, anything to add, Caliones?
No, I mean, you basically covered most of it. The only thing that we have to look forward to is, I mean, of course, aside from new games, but what Nintendo's going to be doing to the operating system. And also, they're already thinking outside the box, the cardboard box with the Nintendo Labo. So we're seeing now how Nintendo plans to take off with the Switch, and in which ways they're going to be. They're going to go after the hardcore and the casual fans as well. So it's going to be interesting. Not only seeing the games that they will release, but how the Switch is going to be changing, because what Labo is showing us is that there's more to the Switch than people knew when it was first announced. So it has a lot of versatility, and I'm looking forward to what it can do in the future.
Okay.
But going over with the next one.
Now we're talking Crash.
Yeah. Now you can
do
the gameplays.
Okay, number 7. There you go. There's the trailer now, correctly at the right point in the podcast. Go ahead, Khaled. I knew I was gonna made a mistake today because I'm so tired, but here we go. We got the trailer up. Go ahead, Khaled. What is the news?
Okay, so the news is that the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be coming to PC and the Nintendo Switch later this year. When the game was first announced, it kind of they made it seem like it was exclusive to the PS4, or at least they didn't really say anything else. It did turn out that it was a timed exclusive because it came out in September of last year, and there had been no talk of anything else. But finally, it will be coming out this year, and the company also mentioned that there's a new Crash Bandicoot game slated for 2019. As far as the new one, they haven't specified if that one's going to be coming out on the PS4 first and then the other consoles, or just the PS4. But talking about consoles, there's no mention about the Xbox anywhere. All they talk about is the PC and Switch, but no Xbox so far. So how do you feel about losing that one game from the PS4 library?
Oh my God, I'm heartbroken, Caliones. I haven't been able to sleep all night and day. No, it's just I told you so. It was a get in and get out. We even had the Crash Bandicoot thumbnail, so you guys can go back and watch it. And we clearly stated, if there was one game that made sense to go into the Switch, it was this one. I am not surprised that it's not coming to Xbox, because in reality, platformers are not a big deal on Xbox. I don't think Lucky Tail has done really well, in honesty. The other piece is that Sony could have a contract with Activision. I don't know, and they said no Xbox. That's a possibility. I'm not sure how things work around. Companies do this back and forth all the time. Xbox do sometimes time exclusives where they don't allow to go to PlayStation. The same with PlayStation. They have this battle, right? But the other piece could be as simple as, I believe more so, I don't think Sony would Sony would do that, but I'm just saying that I don't think this is the case. Crash Bandicoot is not like a huge IP. Oh my God. I think it's just that it makes more sense to be on the Switch, because the Switch is the king of platformers. That is the truth, right? There's a lot of people who like platformers on the Switch, and it makes the most. And PC has the highest market, biggest market, right? They have the most users, you can say, in a sense, and you're probably not gonna need a high powerful PC to run Crash Bandicoot, to clarify. So I think PC makes sense. About the new game, I believe that Activision could do the same thing and be a time exclusive, because if you think about it, they made this deal with Sony. Sony probably helped pay some of the development costs, right? You bring it out a year, you know that your highest fan base of Crash is on PlayStation. That is the truth, and you can see that how well this Crash Bandicoot remake has sold. So So I believe that they could do the same thing. They could have a time exclusive with PlayStation for 1 year. And like this is a year, basically. This being a year, so it makes sense. Pay some of the development costs, like Xbox did for Tomb Raider, right? And that helped that game. And then later on, come out to Switch and PC again, and maybe Xbox at that point. I don't know, but I knew this was gonna happen. I told you so. Me and Caliones are psychic. We have that much power. So let's see, Caliones. Is Luigi's Mansion coming this year for the Switch? Tell me.
That's what Marcus said, and I don't trust him, so probably I don't know.
Don't break my heart, Caliones. Don't break my heart, okay? I'm telling you right now. Don't.
Well, it is the 35th year of Luigi, right? So it is the 35th year of Luigi.
Better be something Luigi related and not freaking balloon popping game or whatever that crap was on Mario Odyssey.
Okay, so maybe if Luigi Mansion doesn't come out, we'll probably have Super Luigi's Odyssey.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine. We'll see. Anyway, thank you, Crash. Your service to the PlayStation Nation was really, really good. It's tough to see you go, but we wish you the best of luck in Nintendo waters. And we will always remember you going to commercials. That's what I was going to say. We're always going to remember you're going to Nintendo headquarters and challenging Mario on a one-on-one duel. So we have that. Go ahead to the next piece of news, Caliones.
Okay, going over to the next one. And this is finally good Microsoft news. The Xbox One X was the top-selling premium console in the U.S. holidays.
That spin. God, that spin. But anyway, they have to find something positive. But keep going. Damage control. Okay, keep going.
Well, I mean, it is true. They are the premium top-selling
Yeah, I didn't know that's how you put it, to say that you won at something. I'm just saying. I guess they're tired of being third and second place, and they were like, okay, what did we win at? We sold premium consoles.
What they're saying is that they sold more than the PS4 Pro. That's what they're saying.
That's what I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know that that's how you're going to do it. That was a spin. Great spin, Microsoft. I'm proud of you. You are the #1 premium, because I didn't know that you put them in premium now. I guess you have the premium, the how you call it, the small, medium, and large. So let's see how much McDonald's sells large combos. We'll see how much McDonald's sells medium combos and small combos, and we'll separate them and see which one sells more. But that's fine.
But we'll see, because I mean they're gonna have the the Game Pass with games like Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, and those the first party Microsoft games are going to be available from the first day. So we'll see how that acts, and that's going to be something to look forward to, how the industry reacts to it. And we already know about gaming stores. We already talked about it last week, that they're not selling Xbox games or accessories or anything related to Xbox anymore, because of Xbox and Microsoft saying that they're going to release their first party games through the Game Pass. So we'll see. I mean, if it still hasn't happened yet, Sea of Thieves is going to be out next month. So by the time Sea of Thieves releases, maybe they'll stay the course, maybe they'll change before then. But they keep advertising it. I mean, today, a couple of minutes ago, I did go to the Xbox.com website, and they had the advertisement on the main page about Game Pass and having those games. So I feel like they're going to go forward with it. It's going to be a Hail Mary for them, and if it works, great. If not, they're going to need to regroup and try something else out. But we'll see what happens.
We shall see. I was joking. I'm proud of Xbox. I'm happy for you, Xbox. You were the #1 premium console. Give me a second, Caliones. Congratulations, Xbox, on winning, on being the #1 premium console. Go ahead with the next piece of news.
Okay, well, the next one, and it's kind of like the last one that we have here. For those of you that were looking forward to playing Red Dead Redemption 2 this spring, the game, good news is that it finally has a release date. Bad news is that the release date is much later than they first saw. Instead of spring 2018, the game will be releasing on October 26th. But talking about October 26th, it is kind of like a special day because
You got some money for me,
October
boy?
27th, which was a Friday.
Seen your name in our
2017,
ledger.
Games like Assassin's Creed Origins.
You're a wanted
Wolfenstein
man,
2,
Mr.
and
Morgan.
Super Mario Odyssey launched.
Maybe
So
when your mother's finished mourning
what
your
is
father,
Red Dead
I'll keep her in
Redemption 2
black
doing?
on
It
your
will be
behalf.
releasing on October 26th on Friday. So it probably will be able to enjoy.
We got lawmen in 3 different states after us. They chased us from the west, they chased us over the mountains.
We'll need an extra gun.
This place ain't no such thing as civilized.
You're the only one of these fools that I trust.
Where's our money? Do you have my bag? Always, Dutch.
Product not yet rated.
But aside from this, you're still gonna have to wait until the end of the year for the game. But that should.
You okay? You kind of blocked out. You okay?
Oh, there's nothing else I can say about the game except for releasing on the 26th.
Oh, it's just like maybe I lost you there. It was like poop, and you're like quiet. Yeah, I thought you were in the middle of a sentence. It was like poop.
Yeah, it was the end of the sentence, so I was winding down. I was like releasing it, so yeah, just going like that.
Alrighty then. I may be too tired today. I'm way tired right now. Look at my eyes, and it's not because I was smoking or anything like that. I don't do that, people. It's just I got my eyes really small today. Anyway, with that said, Red Dead Redemption is gonna be the biggest seller in October. If I was gonna pick a release date, now that everybody knows when Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming, Caliones, I would stay as far away from that release date if you wanna sell. I'll probably be a month away. Put it like a month before Red Dead comes out. But yeah, it's gonna sell like gangbusters. So I honestly, I mean, you may kill me. I did not play the first one. I don't know if you play the first one, but I hear a lot of people love the first one, and I think this one.
I mean, the first one was great. The zombie mode was really good as well. So I mean, you're seeing what Rockstar is doing with Grand Theft Auto 5 and how they're expanding on the online and doing so many things. So we'll see how they develop the game, how it goes, and we know that Rockstar from now on is probably going to be releasing a game every 3 years and just push the online and push it hard. So we will see how what they do with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay. We'll see. Caliones, let's take us to the next piece of news.
Well, I know you keep saying to take it to the next piece of news, but I don't have any other news to report over here.
I gave you one more. Come on, man. Look at your...
You got one more?
Yeah, the Nier Automata sales on Squaresoft.
Okay, so actually I somehow overlooked that one and jumped it up. But but yeah, if I would have seen that one, I would have quickly said it. Nier Automata is I haven't played it yet because again I don't have a PS4. Dantes is going to be playing it eventually once he gets through his backlog, and that's one of the things that I want from you. I want you to post the list of games that you plan on playing on 2018, and by the end of the year, see how close to it you were.
Them Xenoblade Mondays right now is like taking a lot of time. You know that, Caliones. I haven't even started I Am Setsuna, which is the first game I want to start after my Xenoblade run. But, I have to give what the peeps want. Right now, the peeps keep wanting Xenoblade. So I'm like, I'm going to have to keep giving them to them, right? It's like I hate it. I mean, Xenoblade's a fucking awesome game. But what chapter are you? Let's start talking about that. I love talking about Xenoblade. What chapter are you on?
Okay, I'm on chapter 8.
You got to chapter 8. Oh, how was... Okay, let me not explain too much. Just tell me how awesome was the end cinema for chapter 7. Was that awesome when Mithra turns into you know what?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn about it because for me, 2 is better than 1. So.
Okay,
like,
well, I understand what you're saying, but it's the highest form of the Aegis, I guess you could put it that way. But still, it was an emotional scene. It was an emotional scene, and hit hard. It was gun wrenching. Again, someone was cutting onions, in the next room. I don't know who was, and I hate that asshole who keeps cutting onions next to me. But it's, that's the end of chapter 7. Was when I said, okay, this game deserves to be in the upper echelon of RPGs. At some point. So, I guess. What is your how you feel about it right now? I know you're going to chapter 8 right now. How you feel about the game overall? Give me your. Now I always gave the impressions. So give me your impressions of is this game you feel is one of the best RPGs you ever played, or is it not there yet, or maybe you don't like it? So
no, I don't know. Like I think if I'm talking about the score itself of the game, I probably would give it a little bit higher than yours, but one of the things is because I didn't really get to play the first one on the Wii, so I'm not exactly sure what the standards that the game itself is living up to. And it's something I'm going to have to go back, because even though the story of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is not directly related to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but I've heard from you and from other people that something that happens at the end ties directly to the first game, so I'm probably gonna miss that. If whatever happens, I'm probably gonna miss it and not fully understand it or connect it with the other. But as far as the battle system, it takes a while for you to get used to it. It takes a while for you to like dominating the battle system. I was fighting against Malos in that chapter, and before all of that happens, and I got to the point where he was beating me up and cutting me up and just abusing me.
Monado Buster! That's what he kept saying, right? Monado Buster. There's a reason why I keep saying Monado Buster, but keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I kept trying to get all my levels up so I could do the chain attacks, and he kept doing his ability and like putting me down to zeros to start all over again. So instead of me being able to do the final chain attack using all the characters, I had to use that to revive people because he kept killing them. But I started doing more of the chains. I started attaching more elements, like breaking the orbs, and I was able to do an overkill on him, and it was really, really, really satisfying when I got the overkill and finally defeated him. So the battle system, like I said, it's if you don't pay attention to it, because at first I was looking at the elements on the upper right hand corner and I wasn't really tying it to the point where one character does this element, and then if you do the other one, and then if you do the third one, it'll do the chain attack, so you can attach one of those flying orbs like around the character. So I was not putting that together.
Blade combo, no chain attack, blade combo.
Well, the blade combos. Yep. So I was not putting it together. I didn't know what that was for, and I was just going through the motions until I finally understood. That's when I started being able to take on high-level enemies and go through the game faster. As far as the story goes, I think the story is great. The story it starts with a bang from the very beginning, but it was kind of ruined by the trailer that Nintendo released. What happens in at the end of the first chapter. Yeah. So, but then chapter 3, something big happens.
Yeah, that's. I was reviewing. I guess reviewing. No, reviewing them again. I guess the cinemas. The other day, I'm going to chapter 4 to see all the cinemas again, and I did chapter 3, and it was like, oh my god, I seen it again. And I was like, it was a little bit more gut wrenching, right? I seen it again. So. But anyway, we'll leave it like here because the reason and I'm so excited that Kalionis is beating Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm so proud of him, and I'll be even more proud if you play number 1. But the problem now is that you play number 2. Number 1 battle system could maybe feel a little bit archaic, and you may not like that piece, but maybe the story will keep pushing you through. But it's still different strategies even then. But I can explain to you the battle system once you start playing 1. But anyway, what I was going to say that I'm really proud of you playing this game, and what we'll do is for a Xenoblade Monday, me and Kalionis will sit down, and it's going to be a spoiler-filled episode. We're going to talk about everything, the story, about every different things, about battle system, everything. Nothing will be off limits, my friends. So if you want to see that episode, you better have beaten the game. Let me put it that way. And maybe at some point, I will still keep spoilers to a minimum. I will not explain the connection to Caliones. Caliones will beat the game. I will not say anything. And someday, if he beats Xenoblade Chronicles 1, then we'll talk about the connection at that point. But anyway, Caliones, I know you were in the middle of a piece of news about Nier Automata. We're good? Xenoblade always takes us back.
Well, I mean, they were just saying the digital sales was driving profits for the company. So Nier Automata was a big surprise for the PS4 last year. And I mean, the game sold great. They were talking about net sales for December 31st, 2017 was of 188,000%. Compared to December 31st of 2016, which was 190. So it stayed there, operating income up, ordinary income. So Square Enix, their revenues was helped with the release of the game. Also, have you ever played the first one, the first Nier? No? So that's going to bring people going back to the original one and picking it up as well. So hopefully they can close out the trilogy in the next couple of years and bring all three games forward, so people can enjoy it as
the only thing I'm hoping that this teaches Square Enix. That's your real name now, right? You don't deserve that name. But hopefully that this teaches Square Enix is that you don't need to make a huge, expensive visual spectacle to make money and you know what I'm saying. It's just I'm hoping that it teaches them that they don't need to make a 10-year-old game and make it look as beautiful as possible and then, waste all this money. Where as long as the game is good, got good gameplay, people will buy it. And Nier Automata is a perfect example. Right now, I hear Square saying Nier Automata is carrying their quarter more than what? Final Fantasy 15. That tells you a lot, Caliones. That tells you a lot. I'm just saying, if the game is good, you don't need to have high-end graphics. So, anyway. Caliones, now we're done, right? Okay.
Yeah, now we're finished. There's no more news. We can go ahead and move on for tomorrow.
Okay. So, with that said now, it's time to end it, Caliones, right? Well, wait. There's music. There's music. I always put music, right? I'm so tired today. Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight at Force In Unison Live, episode 21, the drinking edition, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, please remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you're new to this channel, please remember, down in the description box below, we have the full channel schedule. Please remember that this channel is full for everybody, so everybody can watch content. We got adult content like this show, Xenoblade Mondays, the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast. Wednesday, we got Streaming Wednesdays, where Caliones plays Splatoon 2. And, of course, on Friday, we have Minecraft Friday. There's something for you. There's something for you, so you can join us. Also, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. Switch card too. With all that said, it's been a pleasure. Good night, everybody. And because I forgot, let's do that too. Let's show the final. There you go. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Good night, everybody. Long live gaming. See you guys.